Let's go bananas with Fyffes.
Hi, I'm Freddy Fyfe. I'm going to help you to find out about bananas. Click on one banana for easy text, or click on 3 bananas for extra text. Easy text. Click on me if you don't know what to do, or click on one of the others to hear a story or explore. Stories. Explore. Instructions. Move your banana over each button below to find out what they do. Clicking on this button will give you more words. Clicking on it again will change back to less words. This button will tell you a joke. This button will give you a list of words and their meanings. This button will take you back. This button will take you forward. This button will take you to the menu you just came from. Only click on this button when you want to leave. Now click on this. If you want the voice to read the text for you again, you'll click on the text with your banana. To practice, click on this text.
The banana story will tell you all about where bananas come from and how they first arrived in Britain in 1901.
Story. This section will tell you 4 different stories about bananas. Click on a book to listen to a story. The banana story. Growing bananas. Ripening bananas. Selling bananas. The banana story.
The banana story will tell you all about where bananas come from and how they first arrived in Britain in 1901. Click on the forward button to start the story. What did the banana say when the tomato was losing the race? Ketchup! What did the banana say when the tomato was losing the race? Ketchup! A long time ago, bananas were very different from the ones we eat today. They were hard and had lots of seeds inside. People tried to grow bananas which didn't have lots of seeds. These bananas were nicer to eat, but it was difficult to grow new banana plants because there weren't any new seeds. People liked banana leaves too. They could use them to wrap their food and for making the roofs of their houses. Some people even made rope out of the banana stems. What do you get if you cross an elephant with a banana? A fruit that never forgets. When people travelled about, they took their banana plants with them. They found that bananas like to grow in hot, rainy places. People liked bananas so much that they wrote about them in stories and painted pictures of them. They even made banana drinks. What's the difference between a banana and a remote control? You can't change the channel on your TV with a banana. People in Africa thought that bananas looked like long fingers, so they called the banana a banan, which means finger in Arabic. Why are banana skins musical? Because if you don't see sharp, you'll be flat. Famous explorers like Christopher Columbus and Marco Polo went to countries where bananas were growing. They liked the bananas and wrote about them in their logbooks. They carried bananas on their ships. Why aren't bananas green and round? Because they'd be apples if they were. Bananas cannot grow in Britain because it's too cold. People here had to wait a long time before they could try bananas. Lots of people tried to bring bananas here on sailing ships, but it took such a long time that they weren't nice to eat when they arrived. Steamships were faster, but still not fast enough. What is black, yellow and red? A sunburnt banana. To keep bananas fresh, you need to keep them cool. Fyffes invented a special cooling system which would keep the bananas fresh. Why did Freddie Fyfe get 2 bananas for his birthday? Because he asked for a pair of slippers. The first of these ships came to Britain in 1901. People held a big celebration when the bananas got here. Children had a day off school, and everyone went to see the ship. They flew flags and a band played. Everyone was very excited. Why did Freddie Fyfe get 2 bananas for his birthday? Because he asked for a pair of slippers. Lots more ships began to carry bananas to Britain. They kept them cool until they got here, and then they packed them onto trains so that people all over the country could try them. Soon everyone could buy bananas.
It is rare for any wagon load of fruit to be more than a day on rail between the ship and the ripening room.
How do you stop a banana ripening on a Sunday? Eat it on Saturday. People talked about bananas and even added the words "have a banana" to a popular song called "Let's All Go Down the Strand." When is a banana skin a good disguise? When you're hiding in a bowl of custard. People wanted more and more bananas. Fyffes had to build more ships. What do you get if you throw a yellow banana into the Red Sea? A wet banana. Sometimes small animals, spiders and even birds were hidden in the bananas and were brought to Britain by accident. This doesn't happen very often now because the bananas are washed and packed very carefully into boxes before they're put on the ships. When the Second World War came, ships could not travel across the oceans with bananas, so no one in Britain could buy bananas. At the end of the war, many children had never even seen a banana. Why can't a banana ride a bicycle? Because it hasn't got a thumb to ring the bell. When they started coming to Britain again, lots of children thought bananas were very strange, so the government had a special banana day when every single child was given 1 banana. Why don't bananas smell? Because they don't have noses. Nowadays, bananas are easy to buy and everyone knows that they are delicious and healthy. Doctor, doctor, I've got bananas growing out of my ears. How did that happen? I don't know, I planted strawberries. Do you eat bananas?
This section will tell you 4 different stories about bananas. Click on a book to listen to a story. This section, growing banana, growing banana, the banana story, growing banana, ripe, growing bananas.
Click on one of the pictures to find out more. The growing cycle. Growing bananas. Belize. The growing cycle.
This section will tell you 4 different stories. The banana story, the banana story,
The bananas that we eat today are very different from those that our ancient ancestors used to eat. The seed-filled banana had a hard skin and could be eaten raw, although it had little value as a food. The seeds were cushioned inside in a pulp, and it was this that provided the goodness. As the primitive farmers started to tend for the fruit with the greatest amount of pulp, these fruits were the ones that survived, and the gradual evolution of the seedless banana began. The banana must have been important to primitive people, as they chose to take it with them as they spread around the world. Not only could people eat the fruit, but they could use the leaves of the plant to wrap food or make roofs for their homes. It's even possible that they made cord and rope from the stems of the plant.
This section will tell you 4 different stories. This section will tell you growing bananas, growing bananas,
Click on Growing bananas. The growing cycle. Growing bananas. Bananas grow on giant green plants which look like trees. They can grow between 2 and 9 meters high, but they do not have a woody trunk. What do you get if you throw a yellow banana into the Red Sea? A wet banana. When the plant is old enough, a stalk with a big purple flower grows out of the top. The flower and its stalk bend over and hang down between the leaves. As the flower grows, you can see small, thin bananas growing on the stalk. The tiny bananas turn up towards the sun. This is why they are curved and not straight. There are different types of banana plant. The bananas we eat are called Musa sapientum. We cannot eat Musa textilis, but we can use its fibre to make ropes. People do eat Musa paradisiaca, but it has to be cooked rather like a potato first. It's not sweet like the bananas we know. Bananas grow best in hot, rainy countries. The climate in those countries is called tropical. The weather is always warm, even in winter, so the banana plants can keep growing all year round. The sun shines for many hours each day, and this helps the plants to grow as well. Banana plants need lots of water to grow and stay healthy. In the rainforest there's usually lots of rain, but sometimes the plants need people to water them. This is called irrigation. Water runs along special waterways called canals. Sometimes it needs to be pumped up from rivers or wells and taken to the plants through pipes. Banana plants grow very fast, so they need lots of plant food in the soil. The farmers look after the soil and make sure all the old leaves stay on the soil so that they can rot and release more food for the plants. Farmers work very hard all year round looking after the banana plants and keeping them healthy. Before they plant the banana plants, farmers like to dig the ground and put in drains, waterways and cableways. They need to weed around the growing plants. Old leaves and plants are left on the ground to rot and make food for the new plants. Not all bananas are planted in the same way. Bananas don't have seeds, so a piece of root from another plant is planted. This is called the rootstock. Farmers can plant new plants at any time of the year, but they grow best in the rainy season. The farmer has to dig a hole about 30 centimetres deep and then put the banana rootstock in the hole. The rootstock is quite big and weighs about as much as 4 bags of sugar, 1 to 1.5 kilos. New shoots grow from the rootstock. As the bananas are picked, the old plants are cut down, but the roots stay in the ground and send up new shoots to make new plants. Many farmers are using a new idea called meristem culture. Tiny cuttings from a strong, healthy plant are grown in a laboratory. It takes about 3 or 4 weeks for the first shoots to grow from the banana rootstock. The plant makes lots of shoots. The farmers cut away the weakest shoots and only let the strongest ones grow. After about 10 months, the plant makes a flower, and then the tiny bananas. It takes 3 months for the bananas to grow big enough to pick. Whilst they're growing, the bananas are covered up with special plastic bags. Banana plants grow very big and heavy. Their roots stay quite small and do not grow deep into the ground. Lots of banana plants are blown over in the wind. Some farmers have lost all their banana plants in just one night. Many months of hard work are wiped out in a single afternoon. Because of the strong winds and even hurricanes in the tropics, the farmers have to look after the banana plants. Sometimes they plant them next to tall trees, which help to slow down the strong winds. Some farmers plant a new type of banana plant, which only grows to about 3 to 4 meters high. That's 12 to 15 feet. These plants don't blow down so easily in the wind. Many months of hard work are wiped out in a single afternoon. Farmers try to look after their plants by placing long poles next to them, or by tying them together with ropes. Strong winds sometimes blow the leaves around so that they whip against the bananas. The farmers sometimes cut away the biggest leaves to stop this. People like bananas, but so do insects and small animals. They live in amongst the leaves and the bananas. Farmers spray the plants to kill insects and keep the plants healthy. If the plants get sick, they can die. Then the farmer will have no bananas to sell and no money to look after his family. On smaller farms, the farmer carries a small backpack to spray the plants. But where there are lots of banana plants, they use a special plane to do the spraying. The pilot is very careful to spray only where it's needed. In areas where it can be done effectively, the plants might be sprayed from an aeroplane. These planes are specially built and they're very maneuverable. They're also fitted with a computer and satellite navigation system, which enables the pilot to spray the plants very accurately, so that the spray only goes where it's needed. Back at the control office, data from the plane's recorder is loaded into the computer for one last check that everything has gone to plan. When the fruit is big enough, it's picked. Bananas are always picked when they're green. They ripen and go yellow after they have been cut. The farmers plan the harvest carefully. They want to cut the bananas and pack them into the special cool ships as quickly as possible. The ship sends a radio message so that the farmers know when the ship will arrive. Then they cut down the bananas and are ready to load them quickly onto the ship. Lots of bananas grow on each stem. They're very heavy, so it takes 2 people to cut them down. They use a long knife called a machete. First, they nick the main stem below the bunch so that it droops down and rests on one farmer's shoulders. Then they cut right through the stem. They put their bananas into a rail truck or when they get to the packing station, the bananas are cut off the stem and washed in cold water. This gets rid of the sticky juice which comes out when they cut the stem. It also helps to cool the bananas down. The bananas are then cut into clusters ready to sell in the shops. The bananas are checked, weighed and packed into boxes. The boxes are easy to move about and keep the bananas safe. It's very important to get the bananas onto the ship quickly before they warm up again and start to ripen. When the ship arrives, they start to load the bananas onto it. In some places, the people still carry the banana boxes on their heads, but in other places, they're carried on a special moving table called a conveyor belt. If the ship can't get right up to the land, then people take the bananas out to the ship in special barges. The barges can carry between 500 to 1,000 boxes of bananas. Doors open up in the side of the ship and people pass the bananas inside. Click on one of the pictures to find out. Belize. The growing cycle. This is a banana farm. You can see the hundreds of banana plants that are growing here. The view from this aeroplane is even more impressive. But how are all these banana plants grown? The bananas that we eat today don't have any seeds, so new banana plants must be grown from either the roots or from the shoots of existing plants. These banana farmers are preparing the ground for the new plants. This healthy young shoot is divided from the main plant and trimmed, ready for replanting. It takes lots of practice to be able to trim the root as quickly as this. Once it's been trimmed, the root can be planted in a special grow bag. Here, the roots being prepared are much larger. Once it's ready, the trimmed root is taken to be planted in the prepared soil. It won't be very long before the new shoots begin to appear from this root. There is another way to grow a new banana plant, and that is by a system called meristem culture. These tiny young plants have all been grown from the growing tips of the same mother plant. This technique allows many plants to be grown from the same parent. It's similar to the way in which you might take a cutting from your favorite plant in the garden to grow new plants from. The young plants are planted out in the nursery. When they're a little bit larger, they're planted out individually into grow bags. The young plants need plenty of water, and they need to be shielded from the strong sunlight. When the plants are big enough, they're taken out to the farm. The new plant is carefully removed from its grow bag and planted in the soil. It looks very small here, but within just a few months it will be several meters high. Sprinkler systems are often used to ensure that the banana plants get plenty of water. The new plants very quickly establish themselves, and the ideal climate, very warm and wet, enables the plants to grow very quickly. Banana plants are very delicate. They're easily damaged by disease. Spraying the young plants helps to keep the diseases at bay. In areas where it can be done effectively, the plants might be sprayed from an aeroplane. These planes are specially built and they're very maneuverable. They're also fitted with a computer and satellite navigation system, which enables the pilot to spray the plants very accurately, so that the spray only goes where it's needed. Back at the control office, data from the plane's recorder is loaded into the computer for one last check that everything has gone to plan. There's plenty of work to do on the farm. The plants must be trimmed and the unwanted shoots removed. Only one of the shoots will be allowed to grow to full size. Other parts of the plant that aren't needed are removed as well, like the female flower on the end of every banana. As the bananas grow larger, they're wrapped in a polythene sleeve. This helps to protect the bananas from insects and fruit bats and keeps the air within the sleeve warm and moist. Sometimes the smaller bananas towards the end of the stem are removed so that the remaining bananas can grow healthy and strong. A system of coloured ribbons is used to enable the farmer to follow the progress of every plant. The male flower, which grows at the end of the stem, is also removed. Click on the Belize. Bananas grow in hot, rainy places called the tropics. Fyffes get their bananas from lots of different places in the tropics. They get them from islands. The ships cannot get right into the smaller islands, so the bananas have to be carried out to sea in boats and then lifted into the ship. The bigger islands often have a deep water port, so the ships can get right in. This is much easier. One of the places which grows bananas is a little country called Belize. Fyffes have built a deep water port there. It's a good idea to look at Belize so that we can find out about the type of country that bananas grow in. Belize is in Central America. It's in between Mexico and Guatemala. It's a long, narrow country. The land is low and wet near the sea, but it rises up to a long row of mountains called the Maya Mountains and the Coxcomb Range. The tallest mountain is Victoria Peak. In the north, there are lots of rivers, waterfalls, creeks and lagoons. There are tropical forests all over Belize. The largest city is called Belize. It was built on both sides of Haulover Creek. The city is on very wet land, and most of the houses are built on piles to keep them up above the boggy ground. The first people to live there were Mayan Indians, who built a fishing camp. The next people to come were British pirates. They came in the rainy season. They settled near the Belize River and began to collect wood. They brought African slaves to do the work for them. They cut down trees inland and floated them down the river to the ships. They built a town, and they called it Belize. Belize City has been a dangerous place. There have been huge fires, floods, and hurricanes. People have caught bad diseases and died. Today, lots of people live and work there. Belmopan is the capital city of Belize. It's right in the middle of the country. People wanted it to be the capital city after Belize City was flattened by a hurricane in 1961. There's lots of farmland and tropical forest around Belmopan. It's not a very big city, but more people are moving there all the time, so it is getting bigger. Belmopan is a very interesting city to visit. People come from all over the world to see it. Many Mayan treasures are kept safe there. San Pedro town is near the Barrier Reef. It's on a flat island. The streets are made of white sand and you can walk about in your bare feet. You can go by bike or on a golf cart. The first people to live in San Pedro were the Mayans. Pirates came there later. Mestizos came from Mexico. The people speak English and Spanish. At first, the people of San Pedro sold wood. Later, they sold coconuts and lobsters. Today, tourists like to go to San Pedro for holidays. You can fly into the airport at San Pedro. San Pedro is in a beautiful area of coral reef heads called the Mexico Rocks. Lots of people come to visit the Mayan ruins at Altan Ha. Altan Ha means stone water. There is a very old Mayan reservoir or rock stone pond there. At one time, Altan Ha was a very important city. Many people lived there, but now there are only ruins. The Mayans started to build Altan Ha about 2,000 years ago. They built the houses around the stone pond or reservoir. They built some small ponds to catch rainwater. Water was very important to the people. The people built temples in pyramid shapes. They built them on top of each other. They built tombs to bury their dead people. Lots of interesting things have been found in these tombs. In one tomb, an old priest was buried with pieces of cloth, wooden tools, and some jade. One of the jade ornaments was a giant head of the sun god called Kinich. The weather is usually warm, average 26 degrees centigrade, and it never gets really cold. A cool breeze blows most of the year, especially in August and September. The dry season is from November to May. The rainy season is from June to November. Each year, there's lots of rain in the south where the bananas are grown, 375 centimetres, but not so much in the north, 40 centimetres. Belize suffers from hurricanes. There have been 3 serious hurricanes in the last 60 years. They usually happen between August and October. Hurricanes are huge storms. They do a lot of damage. They start when the air warms up above the ocean. Swirling winds come in from the sea. No one can tell if a storm will turn into a hurricane or how bad it will be. Between November and February, there are storms called northers. The weather gets colder than usual, and they bring heavy rain and wind. People can usually tell what will happen during a norther. They do not go fishing and diving, but it is a good time to visit the rainforest because it's cooler than usual. Most houses have a thatched roof and wooden walls. Some richer people have a roof made out of corrugated iron. Lots of the houses are built on stilts to lift them above the wet ground. Most people would like to have a cement house because they're strong and do not fall down easily in the storms, but they cost a lot of money. Some people have electricity in their homes, but not everyone. Things are very simple, and children in Belize say they're lucky if they have lots of things like cups, plates, a table and water. Many houses have one room with just 1 or 2 beds. They cook on an open fire. All children have to go to school. They start when they're 6 and stay until they're 14. The children learn to write in English, and they all try to pass an exam called the Belize National Selection Examination. Many people grow their own food. They plant cabbages, tomatoes, peppers, beans and corn. Some people grow bananas, and some keep animals. There are markets where people can sell their vegetables and buy shirts, pants, baskets and all sorts of bits and pieces. The main food is corn tortillas. Potch is a kind of food made out of corn, and it's wrapped in leaves. The mayors like to eat potch. In the country, the bush doctor looks after people with snake bites. The malaria man tests the children's blood to keep them healthy. Special health inspectors take care of the water and test it to see if it's fresh. Fyffes has helped to set up a program to protect children from disease. Traditions are very important. People like to spend Christmas with their family. They eat potch at Christmas. At home, men tell stories to their children. Some stories are about the mayors. The people like stories about the sun and the moon. Everyone thinks the old men are very wise and clever. People think they know a lot, and they listen to what they have to say. Fyffes have helped with special projects in Belize. A deep water port has been built in Big Creek. It's the only deep water port in that part of the country. Now Fyffes can load the bananas straight into the ships instead of carrying them in small boats first. Tractors and supplies needed by the people of San Juan can also be taken to them by ship instead of having to go a long way by road. At San Juan, There are homes for 60 families and 240 single people. There's a new school for 250 children. There's a clinic, a restaurant, shops, and a community centre with a hurricane shelter. People in Belize can get ill with hepatitis B. Now there is a new clinic and the children can have an injection so they don't get ill. There's a nurse there who can help people at any time of the day or night. People who are very ill can go to hospital by ambulance. Click on one of the pictures to find out more.
This section will tell you 4 different stories about bananas. Click on a book. Ripening bananas.
Before steamships were invented, hardly anyone in Britain ever had a banana to eat. Steamships were much faster than old-fashioned sailing ships, and they could carry bananas over the sea very quickly. In 1901, Fyffes brought the first ship full of bananas for sale from Jamaica to Bristol. It kept the bananas cool all the way to stop them ripening too quickly. Today, hundreds of shiploads of bananas come to Britain every year. The bananas take about 2 weeks to get to Britain. They're kept cool all the way. Bananas are packed into boxes at the packing station. They need to be cooled straight away so that they don't get too ripe. The boxes of bananas are stacked onto wooden pallets and then big cranes lift them into the ship's hold. The boxes are arranged in a special way so that air can move around and keep them all cool. A lid is put over all the boxes and the ship's cooling system is switched on. The bananas are kept cool all the way to Britain. It takes about 2 weeks for the banana ship to sail to Northern Europe. The crew are very busy looking after the ship and all the equipment on it. The captain needs to plan where the ship is going and to watch out for stormy seas day and night. Today, the captain can use satellite systems to help the ship travel quickly and safely. On the way back from Britain, banana ships carry containers full of all sorts of things. Some banana ships can carry passengers. Each ship can take about 6 or 7 passengers. Passengers eat with the captain. They can help the crew if they want to, or just enjoy a rest. Fyffes bananas come to Britain through Portsmouth and Southampton docks. Bananas grow all year round, and so ships bring them to Britain all year round. The bananas must be unloaded very quickly. Cranes lift them out of the hold and then they're put into big trucks. In the summer, they need to be kept cool, but in the winter they might get too cold if they're left outside for a long time. The bananas are checked to see how ripe they are and to make sure that they're in good condition. The ripening manager must decide how to look after and ripen each batch of bananas.
"21 clusters. No UD. "1041, 2A, sandbox, 21 clusters. No UD.
The bananas are green and hard when they arrive in Britain. They need to ripen before they can go to the shops for people to buy. They're taken to ripening centres until they're ready to eat. This is one of Fyffes banana ripening centres. It's a very big building and millions of bananas are ripened here every week. As the bananas ripen, they turn yellow and get softer. They also get sweeter. Yellow bananas with little brown spots on are much sweeter than greenish yellow ones. As soon as the bananas get to the ripening centre, they're put into a ripening chamber. When the chamber is full up, the door is closed and the temperature measured. Big fans push air around the bananas in the chamber to make sure that they all ripen at the same time. Computers check the temperature and control the fans. It takes about 5 days for the bananas to ripen. The ripening manager tells the computers how many days the bananas need before they're ready. The bananas bruise very easily, so most of them are not unpacked from their boxes until they get to the shops. People can buy a bunch with lots of bananas or just a few. Some bananas are packed into special bags or sorted by size. Some shops sell small bananas in bags for children's lunch boxes. These bananas are put into bags before they leave the ripening centre. The ripe bananas are packed into temperature-controlled lorries. Most of the bananas are sold in supermarkets, but some go to wholesale markets. People can buy the bananas here to sell in small shops. Caterers buy their bananas here too. Ripening centres keep a few extra bananas just in case one of the shops sells all their bananas and needs to buy some more.
This section will tell you 4 different stories about selling bananas.
When the bananas are ripe, they're ready to sell. Fyffes sell the bananas to different kinds of customer. Some bananas go to wholesale fruit markets where the shopkeepers and people who work in restaurants can buy them ready to sell again later. Other bananas go straight to supermarkets and small shops. Some bananas go straight to factories where they can be made into things like banana yogurt, banana chips, and banana bread. Some of them even get made into banana shampoo and skin cream. Bananas are very delicate and need to be looked after. Shopkeepers have to sell them very quickly before they get too ripe. The shopkeeper decides how many bananas to buy. The bananas come to the shop in big boxes. Some of them go in the shop straight away, and some of them go in a storeroom until later. The shopkeeper must be very careful not to let the bananas get too cold or too warm, or they'll be spoilt. The shopkeeper wants to sell lots of bananas. Customers will stop to look at the bananas and buy them if they look nice. Some shopkeepers put their fruit near the front of the shop because it looks bright and people like to come in and buy it. Shopkeepers put up posters to tell people about bananas. They may have a special competition so people can win a prize if they buy bananas. Sometimes there are banana adverts in the newspaper or on television and radio. All of these things make people want to buy more bananas. Shopkeepers need to sell lots of things to earn money. They buy things for their shops and then sell them to other people for more money. That's how they make enough money to live on.
This section will tell you 4 different stories about bananas. Click on a book to listen to a story. Explore. Growing bananas.
Packing. Life in Belize and Fyffes Life in Belize